betrayed. Rishi Sunak jabbed Boris in the back by allying with EU to shed light on PM's scandal. Rishi Sunak would take a softer approach in crunch talks with the European Union if he succeeded Boris Johnson next year, according to a commentator. Mujtaba Rahman, the head of Eurasia Group's Europe practice, highlighted how the Prime Minister is facing a backlash over alleged rule-breaking Christmas parties, as well as a rebellion over new COVID restrictions, while Labour has taken a lead in polls. Mr. Rahman said next May's local elections could be the final straw for Mr. Johnson and spark a vote of no confidence if they do not go well for the Tories. The expert added that the Chancellor and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss are favourites to replace the Prime Minister. But Mr. Rahman said Mr. Sunak is likely to take a less bullish approach to Brussels than Mr. Johnson. It comes as the two sides are angling over the Northern Ireland Protocol. Writing for Politico, Mr. Rahman said, "But what if Johnson doesn't make it? As it stands, the two front-runners to succeed him next year are Chancellor Rishi Sunak and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, who are both already on discreet manoeuvres given Johnson's troubles." Although Sunak probably wouldn't want to risk alienating Tory members by advertising it in advance as Prime Minister, he would likely adopt a more pragmatic approach to EU relations than Johnson or Truss. His approach would be driven by economic realities rather than ideology, and he would be more likely than Truss to actually move on from Brexit and eventually reset relations with the EU. Truss, however, would likely stick to Johnson's hardball approach. Her first major speech as Foreign Secretary last week included only a passing reference to the EU. Mr. Rahman's comments come as talks are continuing between Britain and the EU over the Brexit arrangements for Northern Ireland. The protocol was agreed as part of the withdrawal agreement in order to avoid a hard border in Ireland after the UK left the EU. Both sides are trying to reach an agreement that would reduce customs paperwork and the number of checks required on goods moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland, with the EU making a number of concessions to ease trade frictions. But a dispute around the role of the European Court of Justice continues to be a major stumbling block. Brexit Minister Lord Frost has been having weekly meetings with his EU counterpart Maros Sefcovic in a bid to break the deadlock. Reports have suggested that the UK has watered down its demand that the role of the ECJ must be removed from the protocol. Meanwhile, tensions have also been flaring between the UK and France over post-Brexit fishing arrangements. With outstanding issues on the protocol and fishing, Brexit is expected to spark contention into 2022. The French government said it still needs a few dozen more fishing licenses to conclude its post-Brexit fishing dispute with the UK, but an end is in sight. France's European Affairs Minister Clement Beaune said France had received 93% of the licenses it said it is entitled to after the British government issued a further 23 at the weekend. Britain and France have been arguing for months over fishing rights, with Paris threatening legal action and retaliation if there wasn't a sign of goodwill from London, Politico reports. The UK and Channel Islands governments agreed at the weekend that they will issue 83 further operating licenses following an intensive fortnight of negotiations. Although the European Commission and French government appear satisfied with the result, averting a possible trade war, French fishermen said they will continue with a blockade of Calais on the 23rd of December, reports The Guardian. French vessels imposed a similar blockade at the port, which is the biggest entry point to the continent for British goods, in November. The French Minister for the Seas, Annick Girardin, said the government would assist those fishers who had not been successful in their applications.